You've been in a lot of elections. Is this one of your toughest ones that you've had?
Well, you know, with all this outside billionaire money, it's made it extraordinarily tough, yes. And I think it's raised the anger of the West Virginia people. Perhaps, I hope not, and I pray not, cause them to just turn off and not even vote. That's not a solution to anything. But I recognize the anger out there at this administration, at this president. I get that. The frustration, I get that. I'm just as frustrated as the constituents are. And I fought back. Trying to, and we have been successful in passing anti-EPA bills through the House of Representatives in a strong bipartisan fashion. And I'll continue to represent the working families of West Virginia, protecting our Social Security and our Medicare from these outside billionaires who want to privatize Social Security and Medicare as we know it, are against raising the minimum wage for our working families, have sponsored studies that would weaken mine safety laws and black lung benefits, closed Georgia Pacific plant down here in Fayette County, putting 200 good-paying West Virginia jobs out of work. This hidden agenda of these outside billionaires is not in West Virginia's best interest. After all, these guys made their billions in oil and gas. They're as much against coal as the EPA is. Give me a break. And they want to paint the last pro-coal Democrat left standing in the House of Representatives as anti-coal. I think people can understand why. Because they're oil and gas. They're not pro-coal at all.
Well, your feelings right now. Obviously, this has been a long, hard-fought campaign, and I'm sure there's been a lot of stress all through this process. So how are you feeling right now?
Well, I certainly want to thank my family and the many volunteers that have worked very hard on my behalf, making phone calls, putting up signs, passing out leaflets, doing streetways for me, and just the outpouring of support around the southern part of the state. I'm deeply honored and humbled to receive that, and they're the ones I want to thank first and foremost.
Well, how do you feel about the campaign overall? I mean, how do you feel about how you ran the campaign? Would you have done anything any differently, or do you feel good about how things went?
Well, I feel good about the way things went. I can't think of anything I would have done different. The negativity is a bad part, yes. That's the nature of the beast these days. But when you have these outside billionaires coming in and trying to paint the people's congressman in a different way than the way he is, you have to respond. And you have to show your opponent for what he is. My opponent likes to pretend he's pro-coal, but he's a Johnny-come-lately. He's been in the state senate for 20 years, never once been seen. You can ask any of his Senate colleagues, never once been seen at these pro-coal, anti-EPA rallies. So Johnny-come-lately is the perfect description. He's been a Democrat, now he's a Republican. Who knows what party he'll be next year. So this is why I say this election really comes down to who you can trust. Who you can trust. An individual who's been there working 38 years for the people, who the people know, or somebody that's a party switcher, issue switcher, funded by out-of-state billionaires whose agenda is not West Virginia values.
Yeah. Okay, obviously you voted this morning, and I'm assuming you voted for yourself. But outside of that, what are some of the issues that you were looking for in this area in Raleigh County, and what were you voting for on some of those issues?
Well, jobs is the first issue. Jobs is the second issue. Jobs is the third issue. And early in the next Congress, we have to write a major 6-year transportation bill. I'm the top Democrat on the Transportation and Infrastructure Committee. While I may not be in the driver's seat because Republicans will control the House, I will be riding shotgun. I work beautifully with my Republican chairman, Bill Schuster of Pennsylvania. We've already demonstrated our ability to work bipartisanly. I've reached across party aisles, worked with him on a water resources bill, which funds our Corps of Engineers, our flood control projects in southern West Virginia. I will continue to work with him, should I return to the next Congress, as we develop a long-term 6-year robust transportation bill. That's jobs, that's infrastructure. That's building our highways and our byways in southern West Virginia. And that's important for bringing new jobs and creating jobs in the process. So that's going to be the first item up in the next session, and that's going to be a major undertaking for the Congress.